What's going on, folks? Hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Just wanted to go over the pros and cons of various reselling platforms. My biggest platform, without a doubt, is eBay. I love it for a variety of reasons. And I also have some cons as well, some things I'm displeased with. Number one, I love the inventory management system on eBay. You can go through and add SKUs, you can add item details, you can mass bulk list, mass bulk delist, duplicate. All of these different aspects are great for when you're running a bigger eBay store. Now, I do have under 1,000 items, and I am focused on selling more better average sale price items, which means I sell them for a higher price. So let's say I sell an item for $40 to $50, and I only acquire it for $5 to $10. For me, that's better than selling an item that I acquire for 5 to 10 for 20 to 30. So I really always want to shoot for that higher sale price. And as with anything, eBay has been around the longest, is as far as all of the reselling platforms. So it has the biggest member base, right? I forgot how many millions of members it has, but it has millions. So eBay is my favorite one. The thing I dislike about eBay is the customer service, right? Customer service is just horrible on the platform. They make you go through all these different text channels, all these different hoops, and I mean, sometimes you'll find a solution, sometimes you won't. I'm not a real big fan of the feedback system. I don't like the rigidity of the feedback system, as in, if eBay will only remove feedback under a limited set of circumstances. And I get why they do that, but sometimes people will leave feedback that is negative, not really understanding that it affects your channel in a negative aspect. It can really hurt your channel if you get too many. Now, on the flip side of that, it is nice to be able to have the ability to, expose someone who is doing something, unethical on the platform, or let's say they scammed you or something, and let's say you are a buyer, and you can go out there and write, hey, this person did this, they sent this when it was supposed to be that. You can ask eBay to step in. So that's been my experience with it. And while I do sell primarily on eBay, there are things that are to be desired. I have noticed with the advent of whatnot that more and more people are starting to um, try different platforms. And beyond that, it seems like eBay is kind of taking a hint and they're doing a little bit more quality of life updates, UI updates. Their not app, their mobile version is still needs to be worked on significantly, in my opinion. There's a lot that eBay could do if they would just take some of the money they're making and invest it in innovative ideas, really updating the UI that would really benefit the community as a whole, and I think would really encourage more resellers to jump on the platform. I don't like the promoted listings system. Although I do promote my listings, I typically promote it whatever they recommend. Usually it's like 10 to 12%, but in my opinion, you shouldn't have to promote to that degree. Used to be you'd only have to promote 2% to 6%, maybe 8% at the most. And now it just keeps going up. And I notice that when I'm listing something, eBay will automatically put in a much higher percentage than what is even recommended. So I just, all these different things I don't like, but like I said, eBay is still king. That being said, my secondary podcast, excuse me, my second one that I post on is Poshmark. Poshmark is without a doubt the runner up. I mean, Poshmark has amazed me in a multitude of ways. Poshmark is really focused on clothing primarily. You can do shoes, clothing and shoes, but that's really it. eBay, you can do video games, you can do this or that. Now, although I have sold video games and other electronics on Poshmark and other items, it's primarily going to be clothing, and even beyond that, women's clothing. Women's clothing is huge on Poshmark, so I would really look into that. Um, Women's clothing, I mean, if you know really good women's brands, you can make a killing. You really can. So, men's brands, and women's shoes and men's shoes. Those are what I primarily sell on Poshmark. Do pretty good on that. I will say that I do use a Poshmark uh, listing service or relisting, resharing service. Poshmark is different in that you need to constantly be sharing your store and sharing your items. And who has the time to do that in today's world? I know I don't. I know many other people don't. So, people use third party software. I use this thing called Sidekick Tools. It's only $30 a month. I know people use Prime Relister. I think it's like $25 a month. I mean, I've heard there's some plans that can go up to like 80, 70, $80 a month. And I will say this, the basic plan is worth it. It will easily pay for itself. I mean, I was not doing anywhere near what I'm doing now on Poshmark before I implemented this Sidekick tool, right? This Poshmark Relister Reshare tool. So it's really been beneficial. That being said, Poshmark gives you a lot of leniency when you have to cancel an item. It's not going to affect your account health if you get negative feedback. And people don't even really have a way to leave negative feedback or positive feedback for that matter. What ends up happening is they can rate you, but if they rate you 1 out of 5, it's on a 5-star system. If they rate you 1 out of 5 stars, it's not, no one's going to be able to see it. It's not going to affect you. But Poshmark is also good in that the shipping is so much easier up there. You don't have to measure everything. They just give you a label based off of the weight, and that's it. That being said, you can't ship things over 15 pounds. They don't like for you to do that. So they will let you know if it ends up clocking in over 15 pounds, and the United States Postal Service scans it in as such. So that's something to be mindful of. Trying to think, what else do I not? I don't like that. I mean, there's a lot that Poshmark could do to update and kind of simplify its UI system. I think that they have way too many sections, and it can be very complex. I think they could probably do a better job with letting you remove listings that have active offers on them. That's one of the things. That's one of my cons for Poshmark. You cannot remove a listing if it has an offer on it. So it's pointless because that person could literally, accept that offer and then you sold it on another platform. So that's the issue as well. But aside from all that, I also want to mention that I utilize Vendu, which is a cross listing platform. So I cross list everything. I import all my items from eBay to Vendu, and then I utilize Vendu to cross list to Poshmark. And I highly recommend using a relisting service, a cross posting service, because you want some type of service to monitor both of those listings on separate platforms, because you can have a scenario where you have to go in and manually remove it if it sells on eBay and it hasn't sold on Poshmark, or vice versa. So that's very time consuming. And if there's one thing that's very important when you have your own business, it's time and time management. So managing your time effectively is everything, and really focusing and asking yourself questions on each task. Is this going to help me get closer to my end goal, to what is going to lead me to the spot in my life that I want to be at? So just be mindful of that. Those are the two platforms that I use. I used to use Mercari, never really had much success with it. I know a lot of people have, but my main one is eBay. Secondary is Poshmark. I'm getting more into Whatnot, the live stream realm. I think that has huge potential. I really do. It's been around for, I think, 3 plus 4 years at this point. So I just highly recommend doing whatever works for you. If you're part time, hey, do part time. If you're full time, do full time. But with that, I will catch you on the next one. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon.